I've written a book about you. It's a book, well, it's an introduction to you if you haven't met yourself yet. It's actually a book that tells you about yourself. It's a book I think you should read because, well, it's like a good look in the mirror. And I think this is what the Bible does, and I think in this book I'm trying to show people that this is what the Bible does, is gives us a good hard look in the mirror. Now, of course, in the end, I think you'll be surprised to discover how little about you it really is. Write this book because I think being a human is a very difficult thing. I think being a person, knowing who you are, isn't an obvious. You're not given obvious answers to that. In our world, it's a complicated, busy, frenetic, and anxious time to be alive. It's a time when people are saying contradictory things about what it is to be a person, what it is to live a fulfilled life, what it is to live a complete and human life. And so I wanted to ask people questions about that. And I wanted to put before people also some Christian answers to see what the Bible had to say. Now the Bible's a very odd book in a lot of ways. It's a strange book. It's a very old book. But when you open it, I think it really makes coherent sense. It makes coherent sense of God and of the world. But it makes coherent sense of us too. It kind of really tells us some compelling things about what our lives are for. That we've actually got life on a loan. That it isn't just our life. But it's a life we have as a gift to receive and to realise that we are free because we want to be free. We want to be so free. But that we're free in a certain way, free to serve others, free for the purpose of living to serve and honour others. One of the other things is we love to be alone, in a way. This is the most lonely society on the planet. In history, I should say. It's the most lonely in history. And yet, we really want relationships. We really want to be loved. We want to know that someone cares for us. What do we do with that tension? Where does that tension come from? Why are we made like that? How do we kind of go from there? A lot of the way we identify ourselves is these days is tribally. By the music, by the clothes we wear, by the tats we have. We seek to sort of adorn our bodies as markers to other people, showing who we are, letting them know who we are, placing us in a context, and in reference to others in our society, whether we're trying to say we're like that person or we're trying to say we're different from a group of people. What are we to do with that? Has God got anything to say with that? I think where should a person's identity lie? I think this reveals that people are very much looking for a way of being a person, understanding themselves, referencing themselves in terms of other people and the community in which they're living. Once again, the Bible is not surprised by this. It actually has quite a lot to say. Another difficulty we have with the challenge we have as a human being is what are we going to do with our body? The body that is never quite the right shape we want it to be. The body that we really, we really want it to be our body, but we don't want anyone else to control our body. But by the same token, we're not really in control of our bodies either. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about. Hang on, let me just look in the book. I also wanted to talk about the fact that we all sense that life is a gift, that life is somehow precious, that we have a really deep human sense of that life ought to be preserved. We're very reluctant to give life away and to say that life doesn't matter. And so, where does this come from? It's an innate sense that we share as a human race. On the whole, if there's a fire, you save Granny before you save the family cat. This book is not a self-help book. It's I hope a self-unhelp book, in that I hope it gets people to trust not in themselves, but actually takes people out of themselves and gets them to trust in God through Jesus, the true human being. We're always telling people, well, the greatest love of all is the love inside of you. But if you're honest and you look inside of you, you probably won't like what you see. I know I don't like what I see when I look inside me in that way. I see so much potential, but I also see so much failure in all sorts of areas. And so I really think self-help, the idea that you look inside yourself to find who you are, to work out how to live, is a complete disaster. It's a dead end. And that's not what the Bible does. The Bible does That's not what I'm trying to do in this book either. The Bible takes us out of ourselves and shows us that really our meaning, our significance is given to us by God, that we're loved by Him, and that we're rescued by Him.